It wasn't just an iceberg, something else sealed Titanic's fate that night. Did you know that 1,500 souls were lost on the Titanic, but the real cause might not be what you've been told? The famous iceberg story has dominated history for over a century, but new evidence suggests something far more sinister was at play on the night of April 14, 1912. From a fire that had been secretly burning inside the ship before it even set sail, to a powerful billionaire who canceled his trip at the last moment, to shocking claims that the ship that sank wasn't even the Titanic at all. By the end of this video, you'll never look at the Titanic the same way again. The myth of the unsinkable ship. Titanic was hailed as the unsinkable ship, an engineering marvel. But was it really built to survive a disaster? Even its designers knew the ship had serious flaws. The so-called watertight compartments were only watertight on paper. The bulkheads stopped just 10 feet above the waterline, meaning water could spill over, like a sinking ice cube tray. And there's more. Recovered steel samples from the wreck show that Titanic's hull contained unusually high sulfur levels, making it brittle in freezing water. When the iceberg struck, instead of bending, the steel snapped like glass. But what if I told you, this wasn't even the worst part? Ignored warnings and human error. Morse code message appears. Warning, iceberg field ahead. Titanic received at least 6 iceberg warnings that day. One came from the nearby Californian, just 19 miles away. But instead of slowing down, Captain Smith kept full speed. Why? The White Star Line wanted Titanic to break a speed record on its maiden voyage. Slowing down meant bad publicity. Even more shocking? The lookouts in the crow's nest had no binoculars. The key to the locker that stored them? It was accidentally taken off the ship before departure. If we had binoculars, we could have seen the iceberg sooner. A 30-second delay in spotting the iceberg doomed the Titanic. But maybe it was already doomed before it even left port. The hidden fire theory. For decades, historians ignored a shocking secret. A massive fire had been burning inside Titanic's coal bunkers before it even set sail. Survivor testimonies and newly uncovered photographs show a 1,000-degree fire raged for days, weakening the hull near Boiler Room 6, the exact spot where the iceberg struck. Fireman John Dilley later testified, "We were ordered to keep quiet. If we told the passengers, there'd be a panic." Steel experts now believe that the fire-weakened hull cracked open like an eggshell when the iceberg hit. The Titanic was already dying before it even met the ice. And yet, this isn't the biggest conspiracy. The Olympic switch theory. What if the ship that sank wasn't the Titanic at all? Some researchers believe that White Star Line switched Titanic with its nearly identical sister ship, the Olympic, in an elaborate insurance fraud scheme. The Olympic had suffered serious damage in a collision months earlier, and fixing it would have been too expensive. But if the Titanic sank, White Star Line could collect millions in insurance payouts. Strange evidence supporting this theory. Survivors reported seeing the name Olympic under Titanic's paint job. The porthole arrangement on the wreck doesn't match Titanic's original design, but it does match Olympic's. J.P. Morgan, the banker who financed Titanic, mysteriously canceled his trip at the last second. Why? Did the White Star Line knowingly send a damaged ship into the Atlantic to sink on purpose? And if so, was the iceberg even part of the plan? 6. The missing rescue ship mystery, 2 meters. Survivors later swore they saw another ship just miles away as Titanic sank. So why didn't it help? Some believe the mystery ship was the Californian, which had stopped for the night due to the ice field. Its radio operator had gone to sleep just before Titanic's distress calls started. Others suggest a secret military vessel was testing new technology in the area and ignored Titanic's cries for help. One thing's for sure, somebody was out there. And they did nothing. Conclusion. The Titanic disaster was no accident. It was a series of ignored warnings, human errors, hidden fires, and possibly even corporate deception. History remembers an iceberg, but the real story is far stranger, darker, and more complex. Did White Star Line knowingly send a doomed ship to sea? Did an insurance scam sink 1,500 innocent people? And why did the rescue ship ignore the screams? What do you think really happened that night? Comment below. If you love hidden history and unsolved mysteries, watch our next video, because there's always more to the story. Subscribe for more secrets from history.